No amount of money could make me endorse the country that threatens mine. Arguably the most Alberta move imaginable. In the climate we are in and our sovereignty being threatened, being from Alberta really shows on her. The most Alberta-coded thing she's produced.
Because they hate Alberta. They should get rid of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to be Team Canada. That's also silly. Like, we kind of allow other countries to feel like they can compete. Let's go to Alberta. I was raised in Canada from 3 to 18. I know people are going to say, he's Canadian. Well, I was born in Detroit, raised in Canada, to my everlasting shame. At some point, we're going to officially go through the process of renouncing my Canadian citizenship. I guess there's some paperwork involved. I've lived both. Okay, the United States is better. So Albertans, just know that. I've lived both. I have family members who have lived both. I've buried family members because of socialized. I'm not the guy who doesn't understand a parliamentary system. I'm not the guy who doesn't understand what socialized healthcare is. Been through all of it. A/B tested. One is definitively better. Doesn't mean that either is perfect. And Alberta is getting to that point where they may be able to separate from Canada. I'm going to make the case as to why they should. Not 51st state, but certainly part ways with the communist hellhole that Canada has become. To start this off, the Canadian internet is mad right now because I guess a Canadian pop star, Tate McRae, she did this commercial for the Olympics that makes no sense, but it specifically is for the United States and NBC. This is offensive, I guess.
Oh, hi. I'm a bit lost. Tate McCrae?
Guess she can't read the sign.
Oh, nobody. Nobody's girl, that is.
What?
She's single!
For an amazing opening ceremony. I meet Team USA. Then it's the weekend with America's best skating for gold. And Lindsey Vonn's epic comeback. Then back to the States for the big game. Super Bowl 60. Okay, I'll just ask someone else then. Forget it.
Cosa voleva Tate McCrae?
Non lo so, non parlo inglese.
So I was just checking my coffee for acid.
No, the owls were talking, Stephen.
Okay, all right. And different languages?
Italian, I think.
Okay, and she can't read a sign that is expressly put up to give directions. Correct. I got it. God forbid she has to look at a map. So 7,000 comments to that, and nary a positive one, to be clear. Bring them up right here. No amount of money could make me endorse the country that threatens mine. Arguably the most Alberta move imaginable. In the climate we are in and our sovereignty being threatened, being from Alberta really shows on her. The most Alberta-coded thing she's produced.
Because they hate Alberta. They should get rid of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. You guys hate it so much.
Yeah, she was born in That's enough. We get it. She was born in Canadians consider Albertans to be treasonous, while the separatists from Quebec, a failed province, their separatists get streets named after them. So really the problem is, do you like America? And by the way, this is one thing too. People get really mad, like, you're a traitor. Oh, you're supposed to be Team Canada. That's also silly. Like, we kind of allow other countries to feel like they can compete. But even if you just look at the 2024 Paris Olympics, 800 out of the 1,200 current, former, or incoming NCAA athletes competed for other countries.
Wow.
If you look at the Olympic Training Center, there are people from countries all over the world who come to the States to train, and then they represent another country that wouldn't be able to afford the kind of advanced training, equipment, facilities. So, you know what? It's another one where the United States can just say, hey, you're welcome, the rest of the world. You benefit from us. We just ask that you stop complaining when standing there with your cup out. It's time for No Canada.
No Canada, God once again.
Yep, and here we are. A pretty big number of Albertans right now are pushing for a referendum that would see that province leave Canada. I'm not going to say it's likely, but it is definitely within the realm of possibility, and I would like to push it over the edge.
Here, allegiances are clear. These Albertans want to separate from Canada.
We're not being treated fairly. And the only way we're going to make a change is by demanding basically our independence.
Hundreds filed into an Edmonton hotel to sign a petition in hopes of triggering a referendum over Alberta independence.
I'm kind of tired to see the Easterner basically having the pleasure of shitting on Alberta, blocking everything that we want to do.
If they took us seriously, if they actually took off the caps, took away the red tape, enough of the promises for opening up oil, letting Alberta prosper.
Over the last few weeks, thousands have flocked to similar events across the province. Organizers need to collect close to 178,000 signatures.
You know, I'm confident we're going to get it done. Like, we're well on our way to the 1 million signature goal that we set for this campaign.
And Alberta, just to keep in mind, I'll get to more stats here, is one of the few net contributors to Canada. So that wasn't just a guy complaining. He actually understands what he's talking about. They have everything that they need to become a country, even a military. And a rumored new currency.
It is him.
Yes. It's hard to see because it's a shaky bill.
I get it.
He's from Alberta?
I don't know if he's from Alberta, but I know it'd be shaky.
He is.
So
I looked it up.
And it seems they're serious about this. It's not just a PR stunt, which people were saying before. The group leading this effort, they've even met with some U.S. government officials.
A threat to Canadian unity appears to be growing in Alberta. A separatist group confirms that it met with U.S. officials over the past year, but won't say who was part of that meeting.
People in our meetings are going, direct.
Stephen Miller?
I'm not going to say. I mean,
Why not?
We're not, because we're not. We have an agreement with the people that we're meeting with.
The Alberta Prosperity Legal Council won't say which members of the Trump administration they have spoken with directly, but that the meeting did not include U.S. President Donald Trump. The group is now looking to create a feasibility study on how an independent Alberta would be able to fund itself.
And I'm going to go through some reasons here as to why Alberta should do this. And it would be good for the United States, by the way, which means good for the world at large, because what's good for the U.S. is good for the world. Alberta really, people acting as though they're treasonous, they want Canada to be what it was in the 80s, to be clear. Canada is unrecognizable. Canada is almost unrecognizable from when I used to live there. And even my French-Canadian relatives will tell you that, and they come from a very different Canada. But for Alberta, they have a stronger case than most. Here's the first reason, key fact one. They are far more conservative than the rest of Canada. I would actually, usually in Canada, conservative would mean moderate Democrat here. Alberta, I would say their conservatives are actually probably to the right of our rhinos, to be clear. And those who live in Alberta, let people know. I'm trying to give a sort of a comparison that Americans can understand. The 2025 election results, Alberta, 64.8% voted conservative. Keep in mind, that's a parliamentary system where you have your prime minister often elected with like 40-something% of the vote. So a majority of all Albertans voted conservative. National, it was 41% conservative, 43% liberal. I know Americans are going, what happened to the other percentage? That's why it's a silly system that sucks. Silly. It's stupid. Two-party system, man. Go look at the brokenness of the parliamentary system and get back to me. No one's saying that any is perfect, but ours is better. Here's something else. Alberta has had a conservative government almost continuously for 91 years. So from 1935 to 2015 and from 2019 to today. You tell me that a province like that is governable under Trudeau and then Carney. It's not. If you talk about a national divorce, it's been happening for a long time. Canadians are just too polite to tell you. Now they're telling you. Which brings me to the key fact that I think most people are discussing, and it's true. Key fact number two, Alberta subsidizes the rest of Canada in a way that, frankly, defies reason for a lot of people. So from 2007 to 22, they have been one of only 3 provinces that are net contributors to federal spending. Alberta, $244 billion. British Columbia, $46 billion. That's the next closest. Ontario, $41 billion. We compare that to Manitoba. They are a net drain of $94 billion. Nova Scotia, $120 billion. Quebec, $327 billion.
Negative, the other way.
Yeah, the other way. Negative.
Like taking
a net loss.
Wow.
And that's why this is also pretty important. It tells you the kind of propaganda you're seeing. Some of this is to the United States. Some of this is to those watching from Canada. Think of how they have venerated these Quebec separatists Right, we have the streets. René Lévesque is one. I know there are other streets I'm forgetting about in Montreal. People who tried to separate from the country. And the funny thing is, if you look at Quebec's referendums, they always used it as leverage to get some more freebies where the argument can be made. They never really thought it would happen. They just wanted more free stuff. And guess who's paying for it? Alberta. So Alberta has a valid claim, certainly much more so than Quebec. Why the vilification? Oh, because they're anti-communist. Got it. There are a lot of strong opinions, too, about this all over Canada, even in forgotten Newfoundland.
He said, he said, when my grandfather saved Patrick been hung home in Ordinance, or sure, Lord, that's what he said about it. I didn't believe it too much out home when they were talking about it.
That's a real person from a real culture that's allowed to exist in a real country.
I love a guy. Is that English? Like a different dialect? I just love he's laughing at. I have no idea what he's laughing at, but I'm laughing.
He's not a problem. He can entertain himself.
Yeah.
You give that guy some Tinker Toys?
Yeah, he's a pretty chill
He'll be
dude.
suffocating laughing for weeks. By the way, in Canada, our Polish jokes were Newfie jokes for people who don't know in the States. Canadians back me up on that. They were Newfie jokes. I didn't understand when I moved to the States that you guys didn't have Newfie jokes.
No, we don't. We
no,
have Polish jokes.
That's Newfoundland?
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Yeah. Yep. It's a very beautiful place, but it's a silly people.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Key fact number 3 here. Ottawa, which is the capital, right, of Canada, they kind of hold Alberta's oil, the energy, hostage. So Alberta can develop their own oil resources, but the Canadian federal government controls the export. And so Alberta has run into a lot of challenges because the rest of Canada is happy to take the money. They're just going to tell you how you give it to them. They're going to tell you how you subsidize the rest of the country. So, for example, some of the challenges like Ottawa has been diverting Albertan oil royalties to other provinces.
Jeez.
They've been imposing the capital environmental regulations. In Ottawa, a lot of the politicians have been opposed to the pipeline construction from British Columbia. So they're happy to take the money. They just want to tell you how you do it, and they're going to siphon it off to other non-contributing zeros. Quebec, you saw that $300 billion, right, a net drain. They're very similar to the, let's call them less contributive, unsavory demographics of the United States. It's just an entire province. This is very much like taxation without representation. If you look at the Boston Tea Party, if you look at the gripes that Alberta has, there is no argument that can be made that they're anything other than legitimate. It's just treason. So we've gone from racist to, hey, you want to be in control of your own destiny? You must be treasonous. Whereas we hero worship in Canada, these separatists in Quebec. Not everybody, but certainly more than those in Alberta.
I think they should vote to join the United States in some capacity, and we should defend their right to be free.
Yep.
I think that would be great.
At a certain point, like there's one thing too, like I've said, don't find common ground on a lie with the left. People act as though some type of separation is immoral. I mean, it's not. It's not. It's been going on all over the world, even since we've been alive. People talk about balkanizing. I mean, you look at what's happening. You look at Serbia. You look at Croatia. You look at what's been going on. Even look at some changes that have taken place, some new places that have become territories. Like people change and borders change if they are no longer represented and if their values and culture are no longer shared.
Sometimes it's a good thing, too. I mean, you look at the Soviet Union. How many people left the Soviet Union?
Yeah.
Look how good they're doing. Look at South Korea.
Well, just
without a separation, it's...
Just think about this. You're in Alberta right now, okay? You're in a province where your culture is overwhelmingly, for a very long time, conservative. It's oil rich. You fund the rest of the country. And you want to actually be able to benefit from your own energy resources, over which you are condemned, by the way, with these new environmental regulations. And you don't want to be funding other provinces who give nothing back and who don't share your values. Why is that immoral? And by the way, why is Canada so opposed to it? If these people vote against the representation that the rest of the country has installed consistently, why would you want someone who is going to become ungovernable? Oh, that's right. Control, and you want their money.
It's a $500 billion gap. They need their money.
Yeah.
They don't want absolutely. It. They need it. They lose Alberta. That's a scary day for the rest of Canada.
Right.
Terrifying even.
And it would be far more reasonable to make some concessions and say, okay, all right, look, Alberta, we get it. This isn't fair. Can we sit down here at the table? They don't want to. They just say, treason. You should be proud to be Canadian. Why? Why should I be proud to be Canadian if this doesn't resemble the country that I grew up in? That's what they're saying. They have the right to ask that question. And they have the right to determine their future.
Why be proud to be Canadian when the rest of Canada is not proud of you?
Yep.
That was always weird to me in America too, by the way.
Yeah.
And I do a joke on stage about it, but like Texans can be like that sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I love Texas. Texas is the greatest. And I'm like, oh, I used to live in El Paso. Well, that ain't Texas. I'm like, well, it is Texas.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
They fly the same flag as you.
Oh, you mean your People's Republic of Austin? Like, look, I get it. It sucks,
right,
but
right.
it is
I know
Texas.
people are, it's tongue-in-cheek and they're joking and stuff.
No, it's true.
But I think, in Alberta, they're so browbeaten by the rest of the country, not even, joking. They really do feel a certain way about them. They feel like they're lesser than them, especially people in Quebec, as far as you've told me.
Yeah, if you were to take the most liberal, let's say you take California and compare it to a pretty red district of Texas or Florida, you still wouldn't find the culture shock that you would experience with a liberal area of Quebec or Montreal compared to rural Alberta. It's not the same country, and I understand why they don't feel represented, and I think they should leave. Albertans, do it. And I tell you what, if you do that, the United States has your back. Just make sure you leave the remnants of anti-Americanism and the ego at the door because, hey, let's do this and let's be friends. Canada doesn't want you. We're happy to have a new friend. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the Live Daily Show is now streaming exclusively on Rumble weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune in there, where nothing is censored.